Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this week's episode of Roundabout Sports presented by Filthy Games Room, located at 3479 Newtown Boulevard in St. Charles, Missouri, as well as by Interstate 70 Sports Media, where our passion is our profession. It is a cold Wednesday, November 20th, 2024. It's episode 112 of Roundabout Sports. I am the maestro, Jeremy Carp, alongside the fabulous Babs herself.
Hello.
How are you this evening, Babs?
I am doing fantastic. How are you tonight?
I'm doing pretty good. So I wanted to kick things off. I just wanted to get this out of the way before we plug the socials where people can find us. I just have to say, last Saturday, the Mike Tyson Jake Paul fight, Mike Tyson had the perfect moment to just absolutely knock the living hell out of Jake Paul. Jake Paul, we got like 30 seconds left. And Jake Paul bows to Mike Tyson. Yes, it's a classy gesture. I'm telling you right now, though, at that moment, Jake Paul could have just gotten knocked out.
Right. Exactly.
And yes, I wanted Tyson to win. Did I really want him to win? Yes. Did I think he was gonna do an absolute ass kicking? No. And of course, as we all know, Jake Paul emerged victorious in what was once again a very disappointing fight. And on top of that, an absolute terrible job by Netflix in broadcasting the fight.
Oh, very much so. I saw so many people complaining about buffering. I didn't actually watch the fights until the Tyson fight. I kind of just missed all of the pre-show action. And apparently the buffering was the worst part of it. And that also brings up some concerns of what's going to happen when WWE goes live on January 1st.
That is true as well. First, folks, before we continue, be sure to find Roundabout Sports on Spotify, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Pocket Cast, any of those amazing places where you can listen to a podcast. We are on YouTube. We are on Facebook. We are on X. Roundabout Sports is also on X. So look up Interstate 70 Sports Media. Folks, we are revamping, we are relaunching, we are doing big and better things behind the scenes. So stay tuned as the stuff going on behind the scenes becomes more and more public.
Well, on that note, let me plug a little something here before we get started, since you're doing a little bit of plugging. We're actually going to be on a live remote on December 15th in St. Charles, Missouri. It's at the card show for Dave Jackson, and So Taguchi will also be there. And we have been promised at least some time with So just be on the lookout for that on our Facebook page. And I'm hoping to have my little camera so we can set up a little video thing so everyone can see and hang out. And I'll be live throughout the day so you can see what's going on. But I just wanted to throw that out there, and I'll put some information on the Facebook page for you guys. And December 15th in St. Charles, Missouri, I'll be at the card show with Dave Jackson and with So Taguchi.
All right. Speaking of Cardinals baseball, I know, Babs, there's also something that is on your mind. How this has even happened, I have no idea. As you know, they are voting right now on the Baseball Writers of America Association. They're voting on the Cy Young Award, MVP, all those awards. What happened with Manager of the Year?
Well, first, let me ask who Ollie paid to get a third place voting for Manager of the Year. He finished 8th overall, and I agree with that. I agree with that part. It just blows my mind that third place vote that he got. I honestly don't think that that's deserving, and I think that's kind of a slap in the face to other managers that are more deserving a little. So I feel like, I don't know. I feel like it was kind of a here you go vote for him. So,
and for the American League, Stephen Vogt for the Cleveland Guardians won. the AL Manager of the Year award. He got 27 of the 30 first place votes. The Royals, Matt Quattaro got two others, and AJ Hinch of the Tigers got the other one. But the American League Central, three teams together. And yes, I have no idea how Ali got a third place vote for manager of the year. It's just, ugh, yeah, weird. Um, Speaking of the Cardinals, Babs, as you know, we're in full force in the baseball offseason. Um, Yesterday, November 19th, it marked the last day for baseball teams to add any prospects who are eligible for the Rule 5 draft um, to their 40-man roster. This would protect them from being drafted or in the Rule 5 draft. So the Cardinals added ones that aren't really of any surprise for those who have followed the Cardinals over the past few months. Takoa Roby, who is a starting pitcher prospect. Tink Hence, another starting pitcher prospect who a lot of hype is surrounding. Reliever Matt Svanson and outfielder Matt Kopernick.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
have been added to the 40-man roster, and they're now at 70 or at 39. Drew Rom cleared the waivers, and he is now heading down to Memphis. Now, this is the thing. Hintz had a decent year. He had a 2.95 ERA this season, but in Springfield, but he only pitched in 79 and two-thirds innings. So it was just kind of a small sample size. And we got this man right here that's tuning in, folks. We got comments flowing in on this show, so send in all your comments. We got Jared Shannon, who's doing so much marketing and business work behind the scenes. And yes, good evening to you. And of course, Nick Hesley, one of the most loyal fans that we have. Nick's question for us is Juan Soto offered a lot of millions of dollars by the Mets. Where will Juan Soto end up?
What a
So,
story about Juan Soto, huh? He's been kind of everywhere the last few years. He's been on both coasts. He's been in the middle. He's been a little bit everywhere. I think that I think he'll probably end up on the West Coast somewhere. I'll say the Dodgers.
well, this is the thing. So this year, Juan Soto hit 41 home runs and a 288 batting average, and um, led the American League with 128 runs scored. Now, the Nationals uh, traded him in July 2022 to the Padres after he declined a 15-year, $440 million offer. Meanwhile, last year, the Padres unloaded him. He is expected to get a contract that is worth over $500 million. Now, this is where all the economic complications come in. Okay, so if you include Soto's $31 million salary from this year, the Yankees had approximately $80 million in free agents come off their books after carrying a $300 million plus luxury tax payroll. Yeah, you cannot
That's
consistently.
a lot.
Oh, and speaking of a quick side note, our friend Christopher Miles and I it's in the other room, it's in the pantry, but the issues with wrestling with Christopher Miles and Jared Shannon hot sauce. They ran out, they sold out so fast, and they're ordering
That's
more, and they'll
great.
be available December 7th in Alton, Illinois for Pro Wrestling Epic. Get yours. I wish I had it with me physically to show you, but it is fantastic. But back to
Oh,
Juan
and by the
Soto.
way, hi Jared. I miss you too. I didn't get to say that earlier. I was reading along the chat. But hi, and I miss you too. And
Um,
hi, Christopher.
so this is the thing. The Yank. This is not something that this is not a sustainable thing you can do. This is just not a sustainable thing. Even if you're the Yankees or the Dodgers, at some point these books are going to come back to bite you in the ass, Babs.
Well, yeah, and not only that, I don't even think any baseball player is worth that much money. It's just insane money to me. I don't understand why they don't have a salary cap. I feel like they should move to how hockey does their spending and what they do with that, and because it makes it what's the word I'm looking for, fair. It makes it more fair for everyone, because if you have these huge super teams with everybody on the coast and everybody knows who's going to be in the World Series, it just becomes kind of stale after a while.
Right, and Nick asked about Juan Soto going to the Mets. Well, two other NL teams, the Dodgers and the Phillies, both of whom were big contenders in the postseason, are serious threats for Juan Soto as well. Now, okay, God forbid if the Los Angeles Dodgers get Juan Soto on top of everybody else they
Mm-hmm.
already have that helped them win the World Series. Um, I mean, good Lord. Okay, so we'll just take an example to you. Let's take a look at you got Mookie Betts, Shohei Ohtani, Teoscar Hernandez, Freddie Freeman, Tyler Glasnow, Will Smith, Gavin Lux, Tommy Edman. I mean, come on. And you're going to add Juan Soto to that team? Yeah.
Well, isn't
Okay.
Edmund a free agent this year?
Yes, but the Dodgers, I think, are also looking to bring him back as well because
Oh,
Tommy
okay.
Edman had a
Okay.
big role in the Dodgers' postseason success, even if Cardinal
Oh,
fans would
yeah.
like to deny it. You
I
know.
agree. I totally agree. And that's why if the Dodgers, well, whenever the Dodgers won, I felt like it was either going to be Freeman or if it was going to be Edmund as the MVP. So,
Yeah. So looking at Nick's next question he has for us, and once again, keep sending in your questions here, folks. So this one's in regards to the Kansas City Royals. This is interesting. Okay. First off, congratulations to Seth Lugo for being the runner-up in the American League Cy Young Award race. Tyreek Skubal was awarded the Cy Young Award, um, and Seth Lugo was second. Cleveland Guardians closer Emmanuel Clace was actually third. So imagine having a closer in third for the Cy Young Award voting. But right now, Lugo was pitched with 181 strikeouts, which was 20th in the league. Kansas City improved by 30 wins. Okay. Um, Lugo was tied for third best wins in Major League Baseball among starting pitchers. I think right now the team improved so much that one thing they just need to focus on, Nick, is honestly sharpening up the bullpen. Their bats have gotten a lot better. The starting rotation got a lot better. Michael Waka was a great veteran presence on the team last year. So, quite frankly, if you just really strengthen that bullpen out a bit, I mean, look, they just happen to be in. I don't know if I should even say the toughest division because let's face it, the White Sox lost 121 games in that division. But one of the more competitive divisions in Major League Baseball. So
well,
that's what
I think that they should at least add one more bat. They should at least add one more bat because Bobby Witt can't do it by himself. They need to add someone to either go before him or go after him, because if they've all figured out that Bobby Witt can hit, so now they're not going to pitch to him. So they have to have somebody there that's going to be like a strong presence, so they don't do that anymore. Because I feel like that's going to happen a lot next year. I feel.
Right. Um, so I wanted to continue, Babs, our MLB coverage. This was something we were gonna say for the end of the show, but I think we're rolling with MLB so much. So over the past few years, let's face it, many fans in baseball have been very upset with MLB TV because they pay for a subscription service, but they can't access the majority of the games because of the blackout policies, due to locations and everything. Now, in comes the goofball commissioner himself, Rob Manfred. Now, we've gone on this show over the past 100 and other 11 episodes and have talked about Rob Manfred plenty of times in depth and a lot of times not in the highest of praise. But this is the interesting thing. I do kind of like what I don't know how the execution is going to be, but I kind of like what he's getting at here. So Rob Manfred wants Major League Baseball to have full control of the league's television rights, as he
Okay.
would like to put in place packages that would offer fans access to all games across the league, no matter where they live. Um,
Which should have been done years ago, especially with COVID.
yeah. So crucially for the fans, MLB's goal is for any fan to be offered watching games without local blackouts. And the NFL's already gotten rid of their blackout rules policies that were around, at and before I was growing up. The thing of it is, this plan is not going to kick in once it's not going to kick in until the last 6 teams deals with Diamond Sports Groups expire in 2028. So unfortunately, you still got to deal with this for a while. That said, you got 24 teams that reach different deals, but yes, I think it's a great idea by Rob Manfred. This would not
I do
make
too.
this would just not make only the current fans happy, but I think it'll allow the possible fans to watch some great games that might not be near them. It This idea hopefully will end up going through, and it would be great for fans to have access. You look, if say my family and I didn't live in the St. Louis area, and we lived, hell, I'm gonna just throw a major city out there, but far away, Portland, Oregon, but we want to watch the Cardinals. Well, under this new policy, under this new rule, once this would take effect, we could do that. We couldn't do that now, you know. So
Well, and it's
that's
like
kind of
I
why.
said, it should have happened a long time ago. I feel that they should have done it before the Cardinals went to Bally, or whenever they changed to Bally. What was it before? Fox Sports
It
Midwest,
used to
right?
be Fox Sports Midwest. Now, then it was Bally, and now it's FanDuel Sports Network. And God
Yeah,
forbid,
and see, that's just ridiculous. There's no reason that they should have three companies within I'll say a 4 year period, because they were still Fox Sports Midwest in 2020. They didn't go to Bally until I think 2021, and now they're FanDuel already. So I think the writing on the wall was for Bally, at least whenever fans started having issues with a lot of their coverage about other things too. So
yeah, a lot of, and the thing of it is though, in St. Louis, local coverage like is not the hard. How do I word this? Okay, St. Louis has not been the biggest issue when it comes to local coverage. The biggest issue St. Louis
right.
has had is that the FanDuel Sports Network and stuff like that is not on like YouTube TV or certain other streaming services, except for when it's on Spectrum Cable.
Right.
Um, whereas, you know, it, whereas other teams, they just have even bigger issues trying to be able to watch it on. It's not like what it was when you could watch them just simply on KPLR 11, because now there's games that are exclusive on Apple TV Plus. And look, people at the at the home that I work at, they don't have access to Apple TV Plus.
Right.
So they
Yeah.
automatically are missing few Cardinals games a year.
Yeah.
So
Well, and Apple TV is its own monster, I think, in itself. I feel like now FanDuel has a subscription to their app, right? Or is that not until the next season?
I thought it wasn't until the next season.
Okay, because there's so many streaming options right now, and it's almost becoming overwhelming for everyone because they're getting nickeled and dimed everywhere because they have to do like Hulu for certain apps. There are certain shows that they don't get on Tubi or whatever that is, or they don't get something on, and it's just insane.
All
And
right.
it shouldn't be like that.
Well, I'm gonna just name as many streaming services, and I know there's gonna be a bunch that I'm gonna miss, but we're just gonna name what we can. Okay. So you got, and this is not this is just in general. You got Prime Video, you got Netflix, you got Disney Plus, Fubo, Paramount Plus, Hulu,
Fubo, that's it.
Hulu Plus 5 plus Live TV, YouTube TV, Peacock, Sling TV, Apple TV Plus, Crunchyroll, DirecTV Stream, Max, Pluto TV, Discovery Plus, Stars, Xumo TV, Acorn TV, AMC Plus, like, and there's so many
Discovery.
more.
Yeah, there's so many. I think shows themselves have started their own apps too, which is kind of silly
Yeah.
because I think some shows on MTV have their own app. So I'm just like, it's nickel and diming everyone, and it's becoming overwhelming, and nobody's going to want to watch sports anymore, honestly, or any TV for that matter.
Look, it's yeah, and it's like you said, and of course, yeah. You look at where what you said basically is you have to get so many different apps. Yep, Nick said one here, Fire TV. That's another one.
Oh,
You have
Fight
to.
TV, yeah,
Oh, Fight TV. I thought it said
yeah,
Fire. No,
Fight
yeah,
TV,
Fight
yeah,
TV. That's another one. I do want to give credit to IWTV, Independent Wrestling Television, where you can find me with Pro Wrestling Epic and over 300 other professional wrestling promotions on there. But yes, the thing of it is, you have to almost get all these to get everything you want to watch because none of them will carry everything
oh
except
no, not anymore.
money is kind of cable. Cable does, but then cable has its own set of problems, and then that becomes its own hell. So I
Well,
don't know.
even when we had Dish TV, like there were so many channels that were unavailable because they were on whatever that is contract negotiations, and their
Oh
channels were
God,
blacked out.
Well, first off, we used to have DirecTV for a little bit. I am so glad we had gotten rid of it when we did.
I agree.
I liked having NFL Sunday Ticket. I will admit, but then again, it was just me getting a chance to watch the Browns lose even more than they already did.
Right.
So yeah, no, it's a mess. So I do like this proposal Rob Manfred has out there, and I really hope it is something that um will really pass through once these contracts with Diamond Sports Group expire.
Yeah, and I agree, and I think that's a great idea. Finally, Manfred has a idea we can all get behind. So, but
Literally.
I'm just saying. But I agree. I think that's a great idea, and it should have happened years ago. And the blackouts should have ended, in like 2010 or whenever they started, or they were always there actually. So
Yeah.
I feel like it's the MLB right now should just get rid of the blackouts already.
Well,
Just
yeah,
do
it
that
should.
part.
Like, there's no reason
And
for it to exist.
yeah, and it's like you said, whenever you go, if you have your phone and you're from St. Louis and you want to travel somewhere, but they have a game close by, you're not able to watch.
Right. Um, it's funny. We've been segueing so well tonight so far, folks. Excuse me. I want to segue now to
Nick
More
says dish
television.
is trash. I totally agree.
Yeah, Nick says this is trash. I get a kick out of that one. So I want to
Mhm.
segue now from ending local blackouts to rating success for the NFL. Okay, last Sunday in Week 11, I talked about this last week, Bash, when you weren't here, about the Chiefs being undefeated, them becoming the biggest villains. Um, Nick, we're gonna get to hang on, Nick. We're gonna get to AJ McCarron talking just a little bit after the break. But the Chiefs finally lost their first game of the season. This time against the Buffalo Bills. They're basically their new top rival. And don't get me wrong, that was a hell of a game. And it was almost a
Mason's happy.
almost a full calendar year since the Chiefs lost. That is crazy to think about. I mean, yes, it just shows. If anything, this winning streak is more impressive to me because the Chiefs did it. Less so because of Patrick Mahomes and more so because just the whole team performed well. But what I wanted to get at is the point of that this Chiefs Bills matchup this past week was the highest rating of any NFL regular season game since 2007, excluding Thanksgiving or Christmas Eve games. The game last week hit 31.2 million people.
Oh my, is that just in the US?
Yeah, I
Or
believe
is
it's
that
just US. Um, yeah, it's the fourth most watched game in a national broadcast window dating back to at least 1988 and is
oh my
among
gosh.
the 10 most watched NFL regular season games in any window, excluding Thanksgiving matchups. Um, so I looked up the top five nationally rated or viewed NFL games this season. Four out of the top five involve the Chiefs. And so we got week 7 at number 5 when the Chiefs beat the Niners, 27.1 million. Week 3 when the Ravens beat the living hell out of the Dallas Cowboys, 27.3 million.
That's becoming a thing.
Week 2, Cincinnati versus Kansas City, where Kansas City squeaked out a victory. Want to talk about that becoming a thing? 27.9 million. Week 1 at number 2, Baltimore versus Kansas City, the opening game, 28 million viewers. And then number 1, week 11, Kansas City versus Buffalo, 31.2 million. So look, yeah, the Chiefs fans can be upset all they want about the game. I absolutely understand it. But guess what? If you're a football fan, and in general, you got to be happy right now.
Well,
The
yeah.
amount of people tuning in to watch this game were not disappointed because it was a fantastic game. And look, let's face it, these two teams are going to meet again next year, or not even next year, but in the playoffs. Like it's almost a given at this point.
Yeah, I think I'm personally happy for the Chiefs because that's an amazing feat to do. And I understand the fans are upset, but they've got to lose sometime. They can't always win. There's going to be a game they've got to lose. It can't. They can't go on forever. You know what I mean?
Well, it's like I
So,
talked about last week. It's just the whole
well, it's bound to happen.
thing.
I mean, yeah, you can't win forever. There's got to be a loss somewhere, and I think it's great that it was the Bills because I mean that's Mason's favorite team, and he was very happy about that. So
Right.
I got some very cheerful text on that game. But yeah,
Oh, I'm
I think it's great
sure
for
you did.
everybody.
I am sure you did. Well, folks, we're going to take a quick commercial break while I plug one of our dear sponsors, and that being Filthy Games Room. Filthy Games Room is located at 3479 Newtown Boulevard in St. Charles, Missouri, right off 370. And by Newtown. And folks, let me tell you right now, it has the largest collection of retro and modern video games in the St. Louis metropolitan area. They also have a Patreon program club where you can get up to 10% off all video games and free delivery. They also have monthly giveaways if you're a part of that membership. And they are currently, actually, believe it or not, doing a lot of remodeling there. And there's a lot of free to play arcade machines in the front of the store. Their hours are Wednesday through Saturday, 12 to 8 p.m. That's Filthy Games Room, buy, sell, trade, located at 3479 Newtown Boulevard. With that, folks, we are back here on episode 112 of Roundabout Sports. I'm the maestro, Jeremy Karp, and what's left of my voice alongside the fabulous Babs herself. Okay, so I want to, Babs, this is where your specialty is coming up because you're kind of the fashion aficionado and you're a big hockey person. We're going to talk about what
Yeah.
everyone's talking about in the world of the St. Louis Blues, and that is as they prepare for their Winter Classic next year against the Chicago Blackhawks, the Blues revealed their jerseys they will be wearing. And for the first time, the Blue Note will not be a part of it. Babs, what the hell is this?
I don't know. I think I agree with everyone else that's seen these today that they are atrocious. I mean, I think that's the best word for them, atrocious. I think that I love the old one or the one that they had before with the light blue and the note on the front. I love those. But this one, it it kind of looks like a retro shirt, but it's not. Like I don't understand where they're trying to go with that, and it's really, really terrible. I feel, and it's like I said, I agree with the population today that those jerseys are not very good, and fans
Yeah.
are very, very upset.
So I wanted to read some of the comments that I have here in regards to what the Blues Winter Classic jersey
Well,
looks
goodness, and it makes this picture alone makes Colton Parayko look like he's jaundiced. I'm just
like.
saying.
Whew. So we have Jonathan who says disrespectful to take the blue note off the chest. Clearly they ran out of ideas.
Yeah.
Eddie says, I swear someone could give some of you $1 million and you'd find a way to complain. So his counterpoint. Somebody says, I like this one.
Give me
I'd
$1
rather
million
own a
and I'll
Ryan
complain all
Miller
day long.
jersey. I love that one. A Ryan Miller jersey. There's a throwback. Okay, here we go. I don't think I've ever been disappointed in a Blues jersey except when there was a red stripe on it. Yuck. But not having the blue note on the chest is a major miss.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Here, Babs, here's one. I feel like you would write this one, but I love this. If
Oh
bland
gosh.
were a hockey sweater.
It is. I can't help it. It just looks like someone just took a gray jersey and just threw some letters on it and was like, here you go.
Uh, well,
It's
like I said,
terrible.
most people are against it, but we have some in favor of it. We got one here comment that says classic, clean, and tastefully orchestrated in the less is more fashion. I like it. Um, let's
Well,
see.
less is more, but I mean, put at least something on it.
Yeah, there is a lot that there could be a lot more. Um, let's see. Okay, here we go. I got this one. This one says perfect reflection of the season. Plain, boring, and uninteresting.
Your dad says can't have a Blues jersey without the blue note on it. I
Yeah,
agree.
okay. I gotta put Dad's comment on the screen as well. My dad tuning in. You can't have a Blues jersey without the blue note, and it's on there. It's on the shoulder pad, like on the side, but it's not on the actual chest, which does
Oh, it's
maybe
on there?
I'm pretty, yeah, because I'm pretty sure on
Where?
on the left shoulder, because I watched the reveal video and pretty sure that it was on the left. So on the picture on the show that you're watching, folks, obviously it doesn't help that the left shoulder is what's covered, but apparently the left shoulder is where the note is. But still, oh,
well, they couldn't put like a trumpet or something like a trombone.
Yeah, it is officially on there. It's just a patch. They have a shoulder patch of the note.
So. Okay, so the only thing that'll be, I guess, is I guess what's the word I'm looking for? I guess what'll save it is are they trying to go off of another jersey that they've had?
I guess. Okay, I gotta read this last comment. I have to. I feel like whoever designed this waited to do so until an hour before the deadline to turn it in. Okay, that's what I'm calling it. No, I'm done. I'm not reading anymore. I can't. I want to though. I really want to read more comments, but I can't.
I'm so sorry. that
Oh God, that might do it for me. That might be the one.
Well, that's the show tonight, folks. Have a great night.
That's how we're wrapping it up. Oh my God. Okay.
Oh man, that got me crying. We need to have that guy on the show.
Yeah, this is what's amazing. This is where we're at as Blues fans, because the team is sixth in the division. They are 8-11-1 with only 17 points. They've lost 2 in a row, and it's the jerseys we're most pissed about.
Well, I mean, I think we've been pissed off about the team for long enough that it's nice to have something else now.
I think that's what it is. We've been so fed up with the team the past 2 or 3 years that we kind of figured. And I wonder if the Blues realized that, look, we finally got our Stanley Cup. That doesn't mean that's the only successful year we wanted to see out of you guys.
Right, yeah. That's a really good point. Because actually I was talking to Mason about this the other day, that it seemed like since they got the cup they just gave up now that they've got one.
Well, and there was a poll, and I want to pull this up because it was up here I put it on my X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it. I don't give a damn at this
point.
That
hour comment got me.
But it's on there, and the poll's open for 6 more days. And it's if you are Doug Armstrong. Now, keep in mind the Bruins just fired Jim Montgomery. Now, if you're the St. Louis Blues, if you're Doug Armstrong, do you go out and hire Jim Montgomery? Right now, 83% of people who voted have said yes. That is an interesting take. Bennington's also gotten a lot of flack. The team as a whole has just looked lost and lifeless out there. You know what? This is the thing. And I'm going to liken this to kind of, I'm trying to use some good examples here. Okay. Hear me out on this. We're going to take some awful teams. The Blues are not an awful team, but teams like the White Sox in baseball this year, they were fun to watch because they were so bad. There's just those teams that you want to watch because of the entertaining aspect of it. But in a way, the Blues are kind of just boring right now. There's no entertainment factor. There's nothing exciting about the Blues. They're there.
Well, the other day, whenever I caught a glimpse of the game that they were playing at, this was the day game, I think, on like last Wednesday. But I hate the dump and chase that they do. Dump the puck down and then they all go chase it. Why? Why are you doing that? They used to do that with the guy before Berube a lot. I can't remember what his name was, but
Mike
man, they
Yeo.
used to do that. Yes, they used to do that with him all the time. And then why? Why are you chasing the puck whenever that just creates more work for you? Just go put it
Exactly.
in the
I
friggin'
don't
net.
get it. I want to say this much though. I want to give so much credit in the world to Jeremy Boyer, my dear friend, for making Blues games that are so bad, so entertaining because of his amazing skill on the organ. I'm
And
just
man,
telling
he
you right
looks
now.
great. He's been working out and doing a lot, and he
Yes,
looks
this
so
may
good
seem
these
like a
days.
random note in the middle of the show, folks, but Jeremy Boyer looks absolutely fantastic. Kudos to him. I can't wait to talk to him again. And whereas he is on the workout grind, I know there's people stress eating the hell out of themselves watching this Blues team. Absolutely
Oh
stinking it.
yeah.
We're just a few weeks in, and it's literally they're already sixth in the division. They're not even starting off right, you know? So I don't know. Um Now, I want to go back to something Nick had asked about, and that being AJ McCarron. Okay. There's kind of the elephant in the room here that I have to address regarding former Battlehawks quarterback AJ McCarron. So, former UFL MVP, former NFL quarterback, AJ McCarron has been a huge part of the success of the Battlehawks. Unfortunately, he's not coming back next season.
And they didn't even
And
tell him. They posted it on social media before he even found out.
he found out from his son's Instagram. Um, Coach Anthony Beck said via the Battlehawks X account, AJ McCarron's been a tremendous part of the success of our team for the last 2 years, and we're grateful for his contributions. It's with respect for AJ that we wanted to provide him with a clear path forward as he decides what is next in his football future. Let's see. Look at this. I mean, the Battlehawks won 14 total games. He passed for over 3,700 yards and 39 touchdowns, and they averaged over 40,000 fans a game in St. Louis with McCarron. He was a fan favorite. I mean, and he talked. Anthony Beck talks about the um, the respect aspect. It wasn't respect though. That's the
Well,
thing. Like
this kind of reminds
I
me.
get that you want to set up for the future. I have no problem with that. I kind of have the problem with the fact that he has to find out from his son's Instagram that he's not on the team, you know?
Well, and it kind of reminds me of the John Lackey trade with Joe Kelly and
Oh
Alan
god.
Craig when they sent them to Boston. Alan Craig and Kelly found out via Twitter because their wives actually found out from the Cardinals page that they had been traded and they hadn't even known yet.
Yeah, now okay. So in that regard, I'm blaming St. Louis on no, not St. Louis, but the Battlehawks.
Right.
Then they ask AJ McCarron. He gets talked about stuff. Um, so get this. AJ McCarron says he's going to come back to the UFL next season. But listen to this. He wants to, and this is where just AJ McCarron being, to me, bratty, I guess, would have to be a way to say it, comes out. He says on the McCready and Siskey podcast, quote, I want to come back with a vengeance and I want to face St. Louis twice. I want to go to somebody that faces them twice a year and put it on them. We'll see if there ends up being a fit and if it ends up working out. But I just felt like it wasn't done the right way, and that's part of the business. Hell, you can't ask for everything. There's going to be things that's a part of life. But I just felt like I was due a little more respect with how it went down than what I was shown. But it's a part of business, can't cry about it, and I don't want to be in any feelings. You're already in feelings if you're
Right.
going on a public show and saying you want to go on another team for the sole purpose of beating St. Louis twice. I'm sorry, but that is the definition of being in feelings.
Petty, and I love it. I'm sorry. That doesn't.
No,
I love that.
Extremely petty, and you can feel disrespected all you want. And like I said, I get why he does feel disrespected. You should be pulled into meetings for these types of announcements. I look back at the Hard Knocks with the New York Jets where the guy found out he got cut just because they changed the code and didn't tell him.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Like he says, oh, well, I think I got cut. Because the usual code they gave out, nobody was, or they didn't tell him it got changed because he's cut.
Right.
But guess what? You can't act like you're not in anybody's feelings or you don't want to take it wrong if you're going out there and saying things like, I just want to go to a team that plays them twice a year and bring out a vengeance and all raise hell, Stone Cold Steve Austin style. No. You just contradicted yourself. And that's kind of just, that rubs, I mean, I personally don't have a stake in it because shit, I don't make the money he does. He doesn't personally affect me. But as a Battlehawks fan, yes, it's going to suck not seeing him as our quarterback. But I also missed the throw in Samoan Jordan Tamu when he didn't return to the team.
He's in the NFL now, right?
Yeah, he's in the NFL as a backup or on the practice squad. And the thing of it is, look, I respect the fact AJ McCarron's not done with his UFL career. I mean, clearly, it's not like his NFL career has gotten resurrected that well. So at least he has an environment to thrive in. Where he's going, what team he's going to, I don't know. So, yeah.
Well, my question is, who replaces him?
I mean, could be Manny Wilkins. Like he's still. If Manny Wilkins is, Manny Wilkins is still there. He's 29 years old. You know, I say give him a shot. He got re-signed in February. If he still sticks with the team by the time next season goes, roll with it. Put him in. The thing I like about the UFL is that, let's be honest, it's a big part of this whole thing with the UFL is it is the land of opportunity. This is where players go to shine, and then they go to the NFL. If they don't go straight from college to the NFL. So, and it's also a chance for guys to resurrect their careers.
Right.
So, do I think, when I look at the double-edged sword of St. Louis Battlehawks management and AJ McCarron, I think both are in the wrong in certain aspects. I think the Battlehawks are wrong because they didn't properly say to him, hey, we're not going to bring you back next year, but thank you for everything you've done. Where at the same time, AJ McCarron's not doing himself any favors by being a whiny diva, saying, oh, I want to go back to this team or any other team that faces them twice a year and drop 50 on them or something. Like, no, that is not how you handle it.
I did see some post about that yesterday, and I was just following along in the comments, and it's about 50-50. People are about 50 on, I'm on AJ's side, and about 50 on everybody else's side, and it's kind of people are torn about it, and I think he's even torn about it a little.
But it's because everybody wants to stand against the big business, the teams, and the organization. Everybody wants to. It's like in wrestling. You always want to stand against the greedy boss man, and you want to support the anti-hero and the athlete. You know, but it's crazy to say this because a lot of owners and whatnot are greedy, but or management's not. A lot of times can be controversial. But why shouldn't they go younger? I'm not saying AJ McCarron's a bad quarterback. AJ McCarron's really good. He's the reason. He's a big reason for the success they've had. But he's 34 years old.
Yeah.
Somebody Manny Wilkins. He's 29. You might be able to draft somebody even younger. You might be able to find a guy from the NFL free agency that wants to go to the UFL. The opportunities out there. The
What's
Battle
Eli
Hawks
Manning doing
up
these
a
days?
lot. Huh?
What's Eli Manning doing these days?
Oh, Jesus. They're doing well. Eli Manning was just named one of the semifinalists for the Pro Football Hall of Fame. So,
Oh, well, that's awesome.
So that's what he's doing.
Yeah, well, maybe he can still play a little.
I was gonna say at this point we might have to. So kudos to him.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just something that was extremely interesting.
I agree on both parts. I agree that, people could have done things better, but then there's the heel part of me that's all like, yeah, go AJ. Because,
I knew it. I knew it.
No, and Nick says no chance that Eli Manning comes and plays for us. Well, there goes my idea.
I almost want to do a random article of the week segment of this show, random headline of the week, because I'm telling you, the one I just pulled up, this cannot be real. Okay.
I'm so scared right now.
Why? How did this even pop up on my screen? Okay. This is a piece of rest. First off, like I said, random and interesting, folks. This is not UFL related. So it's WWE Hall of Famer Ric Flair, and this already tells you all you need to know, reveals marijuana edibles helped him quit Xanax.
Woo? Question mark?
I don't know.
Okay.
Know.
Ric Flair, man, what a national treasure he is. Because man, that's going to be really, really sad when he goes. Because he's everywhere right now, and he's just boy. That's all I'll say is boy.
I don't know. I really don't.
That was an actual like headline, not just like a little bitty tidbit thing here.
No,
TMZ actually reported it today.
Well, Ric Flair did an interview that this was included on. So, yeah.
Oh God. Okay. Oh, it's trending on X and Instagram too because of it. Oh my God.
I'm done. Okay,
that's another wrap up of the show.
No. We still got some time left here, folks. Before we do the wrap up, I gotta see. I can't believe we have covered so much tonight. We started off with Jake Paul and Mike Tyson, and we somehow ended practically at Ric Flair and weed, or I should say Ric Flair and edibles helping him quit Xanax. I don't know how we did it.
So what you're saying is now that Ric Flair's not on Xanax and he can take pot, so now it's going to be Jake Paul versus Ric Flair next. I'm so sorry.
Oh, good Lord!
Good night, everybody.
I mean, Shoot, to see that you'd have to get
My
home.
that's right. Yeah, I did hear the Mike Tyson, that they were talking about Mike Tyson for WrestleMania 41. I remember that in Vegas. I can't remember who they were saying it was against though.
Logan Paul. No.
Oh yes, Logan. That's right. Yeah, I
Or
think that would
they
be
might
great.
have the Paul brothers team up against Mike Tyson and somebody, a partner of his choosing.
Hey, Logan might actually get the job done.
At least, shit. Look, Jake Paul annoys me, but he's a good fighter. Logan Paul, look, he plays his role perfectly, and he's a great wrestler. I do think Logan Paul's a great wrestler. Okay,
I
I
do
do got
too.
one
I
more
think
breaking news story. This one is breaking news, so it actually matters.
Oh
Um,
gosh.
UConn basketball coach Gino Yoriyama sets the NCAA record for wins. Gino's coaching career at UConn has already been defined by many unparalleled feats. Multiple national titles, 23 Final Four berths, yada, 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 folks. Let me tell you this right now. Excuse me. Gino broke a tie he had held since last week by winning his 1,217th basketball game as
That is
a basketball
insane.
coach. Um, it's the most in NCAA history, men's or women's in
Who
general.
was who was the current record holder? Was it the guy from UK?
It was actually tied with Stanford coach Tara Vanderveer, who had retired this past April. So, but congratulations on that. And with that high note, not Ric Flair high, but on that high note, we are wrapping it up here, folks, on Roundabout Sports, episode 112. This was an interesting one, folks. So first off, I have to say, be sure to find uh, Interstate 70 Sports Media on Facebook, on X, and on our YouTube channel. Subscribe, like, follow, invite all your friends. Let's get the following going. Roundabout Sports, we have our own Facebook page. You can also subscribe to Roundabout Sports on Spotify, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Pocket Cast, and anywhere else you stream your podcasts. We are presented by, among places, Filthy Games Room, located at 3479 Newtown Boulevard in St. Charles, Missouri. If you want to advertise with us, if you want, DM Jared Shannon for more details, or DM the I-70 Sports Media Facebook page. We will get you set up. Jared is the mastermind behind this. He's got a lot of great plans in place. And then, as always, folks, we wrap up our shows starting with putting up the NAMI helpline. For that, you dial 1-800-950-NAMI. It's 1-800-950-NAMI. The National Alliance on Mental Illness is the nation's largest grassroots mental health organization dedicating to building better lives for those who struggle and their families. And we end with the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. And for that, you dial 988. The line is open 24/7, 365, 366 on leap years. Understand you're never alone out there. There is always somebody who loves you, who cares about you, who wants you to thrive in life and succeed to the fullest of your abilities. We all go through the trials and tribulations of everyday life, but that doesn't mean that they have to be traveled alone. You are just a phone call or a text message or a visit away. And you could also be the listening ears and watchful eyes of somebody else in need. I want to thank the fabulous Babs, as always, for everything she does. And as always, folks, I mean, we might not have a show next week. I'll tell you that because Thanksgiving.
Because Thanksgiving is next week and we might be with our families. So stay tuned to the Facebook page for that and we will get back to you on that. I hope you guys have a great night and we will see you next time.
All right, we're back, folks. Technical
There
difficulty.
you are.
And no, as always, there was the whole holiday season. My computer's like, somebody said holidays, wanted to cut out. Okay, of course. Question mark on Thanksgiving. But until then, I'm the maestro Jeremy Carp. That is the fabulous Babs. And remember, life is like a book full of empty pages just waiting to be written in. Make your lives worth reading. Good night, everybody.
Good night, guys.